branch development locally using Claude Code, and we've got some parallel features here that need to be reviewed. We are gonna specifically jump into those and have a look at those. So that is the first thing we're gonna do. After that, then we're gonna basically probably not use Claude Code as much because we've got so much work that needs to be reviewed. So that is definitely something that, you know, I'm very aware of. Anyway, so what we need to do now is we are going to look at a specific feature branch, and we'll look, I think we'll look at the media upload one, and double check in Docker what it looks like. Then we are going to give it some feedback for full code. So let's go and have a look at that first, because this will give us a good feeling about what it's like to work with this kind of setup. So this one's the media upload. We'll say, can you, and we'll also just check that the local stack is running. So let's go and have a look at that. Let's see here. You'll see we've got a bunch of different schemas that have been cleared. So we just need to initialize those schemas because we've got a DB reset. Can you reinitialize this workspace's schema into Superbase local stack? Also receive the data and load Docker so that I can investigate the work that you have done. Probably should put that on some sort of keyboard macro or something like that, because it's going to be a regular thing, isn't it? Anyway, so that is what we're going to get, and we'll get a new schema that's created based on that work tree. And yeah, you know, yeah, remember to use the scripts, because we've got these scripts here. Let's have a look at that. So we've got that table now. Looks good. Looking good. So we got our new schema and we've got all the tables in there, and then we're just going to tell it to populate the seed it please, which is good, which is nice. Right, and we'll also get a new Claude Code for knowledge on the go, because that's quite isolated as a feature. I'm liking running them in my terminal. I find that seems to be pretty solid. So we'll just copy a path here. And also the other thing you'll want to do, and I just put this in the next post, is you can tell Claude to avoid having to, you know, accept any changes. So just basically use this dangerously skip permissions, allowed tools, and that basically means you won't get asked or prompted, you know, for specific types of work that Claude's going to do. So definitely would recommend that. We're going to say, I want you to create a new Git work tree. And follow these scripts. This should be the branch name so that it links to linear. Also, I want you to work on a knowledge base that is similar to Devon. So we want a knowledge base that's similar to Devon.ai. I suggest we keep it simple and just have global knowledge for an organization ID and team knowledge for when there is a team ID filled in. Also, I would like to be able to do knowledge diffs that have been applied against existing, new, update or delete knowledge. We should probably make a public an enum for this. Do we want a separate table for knowledge diff? For knowledge diffs. Also, can you specifically make all of the TANSTACK queries like in module? And also, can you create a new route on the navigation menu that a new navigation menu that that is called knowledge. We should be able to add knowledge, edit knowledge, delete knowledge, read knowledge. Also, you will want to add additional permission actions to the existing permissions SQL migration, and also adding this to the setup.tz in the integration test layer, which is set up this one here. We are not live yet, so just keep improving the schema / migrations by just editing them. So what we're doing here is getting Claude Code to generate us a knowledge base, just like Devon, we before starting this, we probably want to figure out exactly what do we want to be able to know what that knowledge should be applied to, or should we just basically say there is some knowledge to start with? Before starting the work, could you please, and I'll probably do this with Claude in a separate window in Cursor. I think that's probably useful. So if we're just giving it, give it Opus for this. Claude 3 Opus. What happened to Opus, guys? How would you best approach a knowledge base if we are going to have content creation, community management? Lots of different features. Should we have a reason for the knowledge, or should we just have some text and a vector of what that knowledge represents? What are your thoughts on a Postgres table given at migrations? Let's just have a little chat first before we brief in this work tree. Knowledge. Yeah, so what we're looking at here at the moment, everyone, is just like how we structure a knowledge base. Title, structured, content, knowledge type. What would be the knowledge types? Community management, content. Could you generate a list of types that you would recommend for this? Make it comprehensive. I don't know if we know if we want a title. I think, you know, content strategy, content templates. You want to keep it simple. Keep it simple. And do we really need a title and content, or could we just have the content? I think we'll just get this right before we go ahead, because then we can basically use Claude Code to then start generating a knowledge-based Git work tree, just a bit like Devon. Tags. Nah, maybe title plus content is a good idea, and we generate a title from that piece of knowledge. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so give me the recommended Postgres structure for knowledge and knowledge diffs. Create, update, restore, delete, restore seems decent. Title, content, knowledge type, content strategy, community management. That looks decent. And I guess we should probably use OpenAI's embeddings for this. Or maybe we should use some open source embeddings, why not? With Supabase. I think we want to standardize the size for the embeddings. Would be useful. It's like a Postgres extension, isn't it? AI extension. Pretty sure. Where is it? It's with Supabase. PGAI, this one here. I think PGAI might be quite a good fit here. Background service in your app. Yeah, it's pretty decent. We have to have a worker. So basically you need to run a worker to do the inference. I think that's basically how this works. Maybe we go with direct embeddings for now. It's a bit simpler, isn't it? Simple is good. Quite like that. I think we'll use OpenAI for that. OpenAI embeddings. Yeah, I think we'd go with this information. I would also like to add an embeddings column. We will use, so that we'll use the large embedding. Maybe, what's the difference in price? Pricing. I need to see the detailed pricing, come on. Show me the detailed pricing. Small ones, this is per 1 million tokens, are quite cheap, so I think we'll go with small. And we'll give it some examples of the data. I would suggest we use this structure. However, I am also open to interpretation. And I think the other thing we'll want to do is tell it you will want to create a new job definition for this and update the existing credit deduction code based on the pricing. Also add an API endpoint in Fastify for doing that native embedding. Make sure this is protected with credits, and then as well as that, we'll want to say what we're going to do here. So we will say, yeah, like when we create the embedding, we create a job and change its status to completed to simplify things. Also, I want you to pull all of the changes from main and we've got a different branch here that will be useful. Do we need media upload? Open source or media upload would be quite interesting. So from main, what else? We'll say when someone updates the knowledge, can you generate confetti so that we reward users? Also, can you use tan stack table with scrolling pagination after 50 to 100 pieces of knowledge? Can you sort the table by the knowledge that has been created most recently? Can you make knowledge? Yeah, I think that's probably enough for now. So that will get our knowledge underway. So let's say that one is currently in progress. And then what I want to do is I think we're going to start reviewing. So we've got a new Git work tree that's going to be spinning up, and that's going to be looking at all that information. So that one's good. We'll leave that one there. And then this one here we'll bring to the foreground, which is we've got a Dockerized setup for this, and we've got our own feature branch and a Docker upload. So this is an unhealthy endpoint. I guess we can try it still, see if we have anything. Let's also have a look on Docker and just double check that we have some data here. So you can see here, we've got users, we've got job definitions, cool. So let's try, and we'll want to go to the /login. This is quite slow because it's a Next.js app bundled into a Docker system. So I'm not expecting this to be really fast. It's like something that we should probably figure out how to improve. But for now, it's not something that we need to necessarily worry about too much. But what I am interested in doing is just figuring out, does it have all the right information? So we'll sign in with a user, we'll sign in with this Amplify tester, and we're getting a failed to fetch. So I want to see why we're getting this. Failed to fetch. I guess it's the, what's it, 5. Maybe it's not connecting to the Supabase local stack properly. Glad to hear it. All right, cool. Yeah, have a look at the Docker Compose setup, and if there is a problem, could you update the scripts? Cool, so it's restarting the services, so we'll give it a bit of time for that. Yeah, so we've got a question, what are you making social media automation? So at the moment, I'm just focused on a lot of the infrastructure. So content items, you've got media items, you've got things like chats and messages, and subscription. So all that stuff is kind of done. But the idea is we will take ideas that get scraped from TikTok or X.com or LinkedIn, and we will use those ideas to synthesize automated content for Instagram and TikTok. So one example of that is like AI slideshows, you know, like generating a bunch of AI slideshows. Another example of that might be to generate some video content, or UGC AI. But what I'm trying to avoid doing is locking myself into one format. So I'm just building the system around all of the formats, right? That's, I think, the main thing that we're working on at the moment is we've got like roles, we've got like subscriptions, we have different types of jobs and credit deduction code, and we have different types of media that can be produced. And once all of that is kind of good, we're then going to start to build one specific piece of content format at a time. But I'm kind of building in feedback from day one. So every piece of content will have feedback on it, basically. Right, so, okay, cool, so it's running those. Let me check using the logs. So if I try and connect to that again, let's have a look here. Slash login. Just try a random one, so I'm still getting that failed one. I guess it's up 23 minutes ago, yeah. Can you restart the Docker services? Cool. We've got this one producing knowledge over here. So pull latest changes from main branch, create database migrations, add permissions actions, create doc definition, Fastify API endpoint. Okay, so that one shows that that should now be up. So I'm still having issues with this. So I'm gonna basically forget about the Docker system for now that we've created. We can go and fix this in a bit, but I suspect if we're gonna have issues with this, I can always just go into the branches, right? We don't have to use Docker. So like one brand that I want to grow is like a social calculator tool. So I think, yeah, like I've got my own like tool that I've built to work out whether solar is the right fit for you. So I want to grow that brand as like one brand, like, and that will be advertising a tool basically. So we'll just wait for this to load. Of course, let's just test this with a signing with magic link. Let's try that. Cool, so I'm still getting this issue, so let's remove these Docker containers for now. Let's remove these Docker containers for now. And we'll just switch over to that branch manually. There's no problem with that at all. Cool, alright, so we're going to stop those containers and then we'll just go into here and now we'll just go and access that branch. Git checkout. I guess we can go into the work tree itself. Okay, I'm just going to blur the screen quickly because I want to make sure that we've still got environment variables. Let's have a look here. Okay, cool. Yeah, in that case then I'll just go into the media upload section. Which is this one here. Work trees. Okay, cool. Now we're loading a work tree here, which is basically exactly the same version of the code base. So let me unshare my screen. So this is literally in a work tree now. So let's just make sure we can install everything. What we've got got some errors here. Oh, okay, cool. So we need to update the data then. So if we do PMP DB reset, so let's do a reset for now. Yeah, I think what's the saying? Slow is smooth. Media assets already exists. Let's have a look here. RLS enable media collection, so we're getting an error here. I think they're saying, so we've got, yes, I'm using Apify for that. So they give the ability to scrape content directly from TikTok. They charge quite a lot, by the way. It's like $4 for 1,000 results. So yeah, definitely trying to avoid lots and lots of usage from that. All right, so do that. See if we can get this database up and running. We're just working on media upload at the moment. Okay, media upload, so that's good. Let's have a look. Just working on the public schema now. Product demos, title, description, image asset, video asset ID. Let's generate types. Solve those typed errors. Okay, we've got 13 errors. What we got here? So we've got some type errors. Can you run pnpm dev and fix all of the type errors? We are building some software to automate content creation and trend research for TikTok plus IG. Yeah, use pnpm dev. So we're just fixing some SQL migrations. Cool. Cool, so let's have a look at this. Multiple relationship between media assets and product demos. Yeah, make the team ID to be nullable. I don't want the team ID to be nullable. I don't think we should do that. Could we update the database schema? Each product demo should be linked with the team, right? And can you regenerate the types too, please, using PND generate types. Update app migrations. Let's go have a look at media. Can you sort of say, can you avoid creating new files? Can you fix this too, please? So funny watching Cursor just vibe code everything. So, built knowledge page with tan stack table, search and filter. Can you, have you created the following tests? And one unit tests, integration tests against the database. Have you also created tests for the ETE environment? Make sure to run PNP DB reset before type gen. Could you also make sure that the creation of knowledge, the Fastify code has credit deduction? Cool. This is now testing the knowledge page, which is good. Okay, so you've got team media assets, and we've also got team media collections that need to be created. Oh, hello. Oh, I think these do exist, but maybe they just need to be exported. So let's have a look. If I have a look here, I think that's probably the issue. So we've got team media assets .react. That is a new one. That is a new file. That's okay. And we also need to export all of these in the index.ts file. Can you please export all of these in the index.ts file? Index.ts file. So we're just generating a bunch of different files here. And making sure those are indexed into our TypeScript setup. I've got a cat here on my lap, so I'm sort of partially looking after a cat now whilst trying to multitask, which is quite funny. So looks like I'm going to be busy for a couple of bits now then. So cool, so I guess we're still going to get failures. But they already exist, that's the thing. This one's making tests for the knowledge base. So it's making unit tests. You can use pnpm test to test the components. I would. You okay, buddy? Team media collections, these hooks. Ah, okay, so it's making the team media collections.react. Cool. I would recommend making the integration tests plus ET tests, then running the scripts to make sure that the Git worktree is set up correctly, then run integration, then ET tests. So we've got this one generating a knowledge base just like Devin. So that one's generating a knowledge base, and then we've also got Curse over here working on product demos. And then after that, then we can go and again check out the media upload and see what that looks like, and whether that works. So that'll be interesting to see. So we'll go and give that a try. So we're just currently waiting to get all these files made basically. So what's quite nice is once you've got a pattern for this, you can just basically pull in all of the code and you're going to get the same pattern. The other thing I am going to suggest we do is just tell it team members.react. Can you add doc strings to these? Because you'll see some of these are missing doc strings, these use ones. You know, look at different files within app module for an example of this, because we really want it to keep making doc strings. Yeah, so we've got a question, how fast have you been doing all of this here if you to put it into days of productivity? So I managed to get this Git work trees and Dockerize setup working with Claude Code in about 2 days of work. And now I've got Git work trees, we can run them all separately on Docker. I think basically you can use, there's a new Max plan that Claude have brought out recently, and that it costs you $200, but you get basically like unlimited Claude code. So I would really recommend checking out that plan. Like, it's very generous. I mean, don't abuse it by all stretches of the imagination, but like $200 to run a couple of Claude code terminal sessions all day long is just basically dirt cheap. And Sonnet 4 is kind of good enough now that you don't necessarily have to worry about it making too many errors. Like, obviously we are still going in and checking out the individual feature branch and looking at all the various database migrations it's made and stuff like that, and the routing. But we're getting to the point where these models are so efficient at updating code that you can see I'm like completely hands off, right? We're essentially just getting it to generate some examples. And that's basically it. So we'll wait for it to do these, and then we'll build up the app again. So I'm just going to pm dev into this, and then I think we can try and see if this works. We might end up hitting an issue though. So if we go here and so what's this doing? I'll keep running the tests. Let me first complete the migration setup and run the integration tests. Cannot use subquery and check constraint. Okay, cool. Cool, so it's just running migration. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out Claude Code. I mean, the more you can kind of the more you can automate with Claude Code, the better, I think. Now, there are certain things I wouldn't recommend doing, like, we're logging in and checking out that the actual app is not working 100% is like something that we probably still have to do. But it's a really good start. It's a really good start. So I'm basically just producing loads of Postgres tables and producing a bunch of infrastructure that we can use. And hey Vima, how you doing? Okay. So we're just waiting for this one to load. Cool, so this is Screamer aware script, see data. So now it's running integration tests. We got build exited. Try with npm test integration. Oh, okay, cool, yeah, so it found out that the types were an issue. Cool. Cool. So let's keep working on this. We've got a little bit longer, I suspect, until I can log in. I'll say, okay, because so let's have a look here. So this file's not been found. So it's just creating. So what I really like about Claude Code is you can essentially get it to generate lots and lots of files, and then you can basically just sit back and chill and relax. So yeah, that is what we're currently doing. These ones again also need doc strings. We're currently checking out this media upload branch and fixing that, and then we're just going to go in and manually test it and make sure that everything's okay. We've got two other branches that are currently good to, well, one's being built, which is the simplify login. We've also got one for social media accounts, and we also have one that was currently being built by Claude Code for knowledge base work. So we'll just wait for these last two files to have doc strings, and then I think at that point then we're pretty good to go. So you can see here it's running migrations, and then it's running policies. So then again, it's getting some errors here. oh yeah, I would avoid using public dot because you are in a custom Postgres schema. So we're giving it a custom Postgres schema. So make sure to update the .SQL files first. So we've given each individual Git work tree a custom Postgres schema, so you've got data isolation there. And then this is now doc strings, so everything's got doc strings, which is really nice. So we're nearly there. I don't have a Discord, but I would be open to setting one up. Would that be something you're interested in? So this one's just dropping policies. We've got one last file. Okay, so now we should be good to go. So if I log in now, let's have a look. I'm getting an internal server error. No such file directory. Okay, so let's clear the next cache here, I think, is probably the issue. We'll do get rid of next here. There you go. Media. Can't resolve this at repo Superbase team media assets. Oh yeah, so this one here, we can actually do ourselves. We want to change all of these at repo we want to change this. We'll probably just give this the Claude code. So I want to change all of these dot star to be, and then we're just doing at repo / Superbase as the package import. Can you also make, and we'll add this as a Claude memory, I guess, because this is a problem. So can you make sure that we import everything like so we'll say do a TypeScript check on the app's web and fix any TypeScript errors using npx tsc -- no emit. Yeah, I've got quite a lot going on with the context. So we're getting all these issues. These should all be at repo / Superbase, basically. Everything from Superbase is at repo / Superbase for the tan stack hooks from the Superbase monorepo package. It's going to get better over time, right? Eventually you'll be able to have like 1 million tokens in 2 million, 4 million, and then eventually, you know, it's not really going to be that hard to just put your entire app in. And so I think it's like, as long as we prepare for that, then it's fine, right? You know? Oh yeah. But yeah, it's okay. I think it's fine. Eventually, like, you know, like this is just a temporary thing, right? This is also going to come create authenticated client demo model. Literally going through. Do a check for all of the Museo alias, okay. How do I save a memory? Dash memorize. Okay, cool. And some reason it keeps switching, my iPods keep switching, but there we go. And yeah, fix it, please, and keep going. Yeah, give it a crack. I'll follow you on Twitch. I've made a note of your username. But yeah, I think Claude is great. Like I'm very much using it to build something whilst fix something else. I think that is a really good way of doing things. And then you can basically have something. So what have we got here? Use bulk media assets, uploads. We'll give it this one here. Can you fix this, please? Shouldn't we just export it? I feel like we're doing an anti-pattern here. Let's have a look here. So we're close. We've also got one here which should be product demos. Get signed URL. This is the joy of vibe coding, guys. You are literally a slave to the bugs. We need to fix that one, and Yeah, I'm based in the UK because I grew up here and that's where I live. I work full. I'm self-employed at the moment, so I just do my own thing. Get signed URL. Wow, just create signed URLs. It's nuts. I don't like this like jolting in from the side. I want to change those Notion. Can we change all of the motions that are like this? Product demos. So create your first demos. Let's go find that. Create your first. Where's the motion here? On create, click. What uses empty state? So it's these ones here, these motion ones here. Where is it? Right, create demo so that it is in the middle of the page and just loads in a bit slowly rather than coming from the top right of the screen. Can we also do the same on the workspaces? Oh, I don't leave because I've got family here, so that's why. Workspaces feature. What else have we got? Show inactive, search demos, media. Okay, now I need to go and log back in because one Supabase is doing some integration tests and it completely wipes out the database. So that is the joy of working with multiple branches, guys. But that is the nature of life. So there you go. No Teams organization. Why did I log into this one? I'm an idiot. This one has to go through onboarding, guys. This one goes through onboarding. Yeah, do the same with the media. Just bring it in from the center of the screen, not from the top right. Okay, so we've also got this, what's this, failed to upload media. Can you also fix this error too, please? Let's try a product demo upload. Failed to load demos. Ah. Yeah, it's because these tests are basically just going round and round and round. Right, all 22 tasks pass an integration. So we've got integration tests now for knowledge. This is crazy, guys. We're literally coding an entire feature in like an hour. Can you also make sure that there are... okay, so now it's writing end-to-end specs for this. This is nuts. Okay, cool. So let's make a couple of notes here. So we need to check. What do we need to check? Check media upload. We need to check product demo upload. What else do we need to check? Can you also do the same on create workspace too, please? This is nuts, guys. Yes, Fema, I'm also streaming on Twitch and also LinkedIn and x.com. I'll give you my Discord username, by the way, and we would be really nice to connect. So, yeah. Cool, so it's making end-to-end testers. Can you run some tests against the storage? Okay, so it's got some errors from 48. Fix the missing team ID parameter. Okay, cool. Just let it work through these errors for media upload. What's happening here? This is nuts. Implemented vector search using PG vector. Claude Beast is Claude Code is truly a machine. Can you push this up as a branch and and make a PR against main. Please use GitHub CLI. Okay, cool. Let's have a look. So we now have an insane number of branches that need to be reviewed. So look at this, guys. We have a new knowledge branch that Claude Code just made. We've got simplify login. We've got media upload work tree, which is currently what we're working on. We've got the social accounts, and we've also got some work that needs to be done for automating this stuff. So that is really good. So now it's creating a PR specifically for a knowledge-based system. And now I think I'm going to close all these Claude Code sessions and just focus on getting through the work. And basically just, yeah, now that we've got so many branches that have been created for various bits of the system, I think that would be worthwhile just doing and working on one at a time now. So cool. So file size limits. Cool. So let's try that. Fix 15 files. So let's have a look. I started this project about 3 or 4 months ago, but I was mainly spent time bootstrapping all the infrastructure for working with LLMs. So using things like Turbo Repo, Superbase Local Stack, all that kind of stuff. And I was doing all of that because I knew at some point we were going to get to a point, and this menu bar needs fixing, so that's fine, I can get that fixed. Yeah, I knew at some point we were going to hit this point where basically LLMs become insanely good at coding most things. And now that we've reached that point with something like Claude Code, we can basically just vibe code pretty much the whole thing, which is hilarious. So let's try this now. So upload media. Try like uploading a PNG. Cool. And then add to collection. No collections found. Create one first. What's this for? What's this here? And then add to collection. No collections found. Create one first. Where do we create collections? Images, videos, audio. Manage collections. Image collections. I don't think when we copy the URL we want to bring up the details. When we click the URL we don't want to bring up the details modal. Can you standardize the button size on this screen? I think that's good. Let's try it. So we can upload that. Let's also try adding a product demo. Cool, that's good enough, guys. We've got media upload done basically. Media uploads, so product demos, we've got media, we've got collections, can upload media there, support for images and videos and audio files, so if we try and upload multiple, probably a good test as well. Nice. Lol. Okay, cool. Right. I can't believe that that feature was done that quickly. So I basically got Claude Code to code up most of that. And then we've also got product demos as well. So you can see, so hide inactive, show inactive, you can add a demo. Awesome. Maybe it's a video we're going for. Okay, so we should have some validation against this here. Create product demo. Add validation if it is not a video or it is not an image. Let's try tags. So this has got tags. Okay, so that searches by tags as well. Try delete all. Delete selected. Let's add a confirmation window for that. Okay, so there's two things I want to do, which I don't really need to do right now, but is worth putting on the radar. So like one thing that we want to do is so like limit the number of uploads someone can do each month to avoid spam, because we could get targeted by spammers. Like if they uploaded an unlimited number of files, our storage costs would go up a lot, right? So that is really important. We should probably put that in deployment tasks. And so that's one thing. Media, we'll call this media uploads. What else do we need? We've got media, we've got brand settings. You can put your tone, style, guidelines, all that kind of good stuff. Logic if the photo should add some logic if the photo doesn't fit the dimensions, so you can center it and have a popover for it that shows it on hover. What do you mean by that? Can you explain a bit more? Explain about this more. Okay, cool. So that's done. We've got content automation settings. We've got your media. You've got your product demos, which is also linked to media, which is here. And okay, so media upload we need to protect against. That's very important. That's probably, you could consider that a bug, because someone could upload unlimited media. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. So like we could, I think I'll put that on the list of things to do. I don't really want to do it at this stage because it's going to complicate it, but you're basically like saying, you know, if it's under a certain scale, then use a Gaussian blurred background of the image behind it, and then basically have it fit the dimension of the grid. Yeah, re-render it basically with a blurred background to fit a certain scale. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. I'm going to put that as like an extra thing in the, you know, image scaling issues. How do we want to resize image uploads, I guess. Nice. I like that. Thank you. That's a very good idea. So okay, so image upload is done. Your product demos, you can, so if we copy the URL, it just copies it to clipboard. You can delete it. Okay, so when we delete it, we don't want to add the pop-up either. Let's get rid of that. When I click delete, I don't want to bring that modal up on a single item. That's definitely a bit weird. And I think we're still getting this issue here. Still getting this issue, getting this dialogue issue. I did make, so we asked getting question, any awesome other projects you made. We made an app called VexPower with a friend of mine, and that was like a course-based learning platform, so we sort of coded that in Firebase. It's mainly kind of a CMS-based project, and another project I've got working on with a client at the moment is a LLM-based tracker for your brand inside of OpenAI. I can't share details on that because that is a proprietary project. Basically, it's not completely my project. So, and I think the other thing that I want to do is, still getting this dialogue issue, is number 2 on the home route. Home, i.e. this route here. I want to add product demos and brand settings and media upload as things to do to set up your brand. Cool, so it's going to add that dialogue content. Guess we should try and run component tests. Cancel. Nice, that looks good. Okay. Media's done. Brand settings, product demos. Analyze TikTok content, discover trends, generate reports, create workspaces for your clients or projects to help keep things organized. So you can create different workspaces basically. And each workspace has its own media section. So you have team isolation, which is quite nice. And each individual brand also has its own product demos and brand section and automation section. So then you can switch between teams up here. Okay, cool. So we'll just wait for that to finish on the dashboard. Maybe we should say upload media, like make all of these load a new tab for extra polish, I guess would be useful. I don't like the fact that these cards are the different size. What can we do to fix these cards? High inconsistency. Target blank is cool. Brand settings should have a better loading state. Okay. What else have we got? Remove the complete setup button. Remove the complete setup button from the brand setup. Maybe we should put brand setup. Should we put brand setup underneath content strategy as workspaces, then it doesn't matter about the height inconsistency. I think that's good. Got strategy reports now. You can create a content strategy, and you've got credits. You can add credits here. We should probably remove add credits. Remove add credits from the dashboard for now. Just comment it out. Gonna take a break in a bit, guys. I think I'm nearly done with the stream, but you can see how we had Claude Code working on several feature branches in parallel, and now we're basically just doing that work of reviewing the changes. Now, the one thing I'm gonna say that's quite nice is you will also want to you will also want to do this kind of stuff. So I'm finding that I'm becoming the bottleneck in the reviewing process. So I'm getting the testing to do most of the work so that I can just go in and have a look and do various things. That's one thing. So I think having more tests running is really, really good with Claude Code. So get loads of tests, get it to do component tests, integration tests, playwright tests, and then you can go in manually. The other thing that I'm finding that's really interesting is I'm using source control more. So because I'm not writing a lot of this kind of application code, it's really important for me to avoid just vibing the whole product and not understanding exactly what's happening at every layer of the application. So I will specifically go in and I will look at things like, okay, what's happening in the dashboard, or what's happening in various different types of the application. And that's important, because if you don't review those changes and you don't review those components, you're going to get lost in your own app. So that would be my other recommendation, is definitely make sure to go and review all the code. And that's what I'm going to do after lunch, is I'm going to go through and learn about like signed URLs and like exactly what is happening with everything. And then yeah, I think that's like, you've got to be aware of that, because otherwise you will code a large amount of the app, and then when you need to change something, you have to rely on an LM. You don't want to have to do that. You want to have full awareness of the app. So we've got a question. I saw one of your courses was about web scraping. Is it feasible for an AI when configured with an API to manage or utilize its own dedicated web scraping server? Yes, it is. The best way to do web scraping with a AI would be to use something called function calling. So you can tell the AI like what actions to take when scraping. So it could be like like search page, or like download page, or like scroll. So that's what you would want to do, is set up a bunch of tools and actions for the agent to take. And then what you would want to do is you would use function calling for that, and tool-based calling. Oh, you're the guy who does Gina.ai. Oh, really nice. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Your reader is really interesting. Yeah, it's really good product. Really love it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting on Discord. Oh right, okay. So you use Gina, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, still looking forward to connecting anyway, but yeah, Gina.ai is pretty decent. And then, yeah, yeah, so yeah, function calling is one thing you want to look at, right? They call it tool calling now in OpenAI. And you would basically have it where you're able to do certain actions based on what's happening inside the web page. So yeah, definitely would recommend that. Cool. I think, let's have a look here. So I'm going to go review all this code. I'm going to go dive into this, and I'm putting everything in a features branch. So we've got product demos and workspaces, and then essentially like we've got a media section. So I'm going to go review all these. I'm going to put these on my list of things to do, which is, so we've checked the media upload, we've checked the product demo upload, and yeah, I mean this feature branch, by the way, was done literally the other day. We've literally just gone in and just basically got the code working. And we've got another couple of feature branches that are just like this. So that's why I've been investing so much in getting a TDD setup with the following attributes. If we have Supabase local stack, for each Git work tree, which is how you can parallelize Claude code sessions. So look at Git work trees if you haven't looked at that, and you can do parallel agent execution of your coding. Now, the one thing that holds you back on the Supabase local stack is obviously most of your SQL commands probably look like this, where you're doing this kind of operation, create table. Now, you can't do that if you're gonna use Supabase local stack in parallel. So what I do is I've stripped out all my commands to just be this. And before we run the migrations, we actually switch into a custom Postgres schema per feature branch. And all of this is done with custom shell scripts that decide what that specific Postgres schema should be based on the Git branch. So we've got a bunch of shell scripts that help us automate Git work trees. So this is setup work tree, for example, and that will also create Docker overrides so that we can easily get services and it can run various tests and reseed custom data. And then at the application layer, you actually make each individual Postgres database container isolated by schema. So what I mean by that is if you look inside of, so let's go and show you an example where we're doing a create client. You'll see where we're doing create client. So if you look inside this create client, right, we go have a look at that. This is a browser client. But what's interesting is that when we create these Docker versions of this thing, so this docker.override is which gets created per work tree. This is where the magic happens. So this is where we actually tell it, and I need to get this 100% working, but the idea is each individual Supabase anon key gets set, and you also have the search paths being set in the DB URL and the Supabase DB URL. So because the search paths are limited, that should mean that you actually end up connecting to the right database client. So I do need to double check this, but that's basically the idea, is that the database clients are also dumb. They just connect to whatever schema they're told to connect to. And then you also have to make the integration tests idempotent in the sense of ideally you shouldn't have resetting on one Git work tree to interact with the other one. And the way you can do that is I've done this really interesting thing where you basically create a custom RPC. So I'll show you this. So look at this. We have a custom truncate. So rather than resetting the Docker containers, we do a custom RPC. And the reason why we're doing this custom RPC is because this will allow us to truncate a specific schema. So if we go and look at this, we actually go and get the search path name. So we find what tables we want to truncate. And at the moment it's just doing, I think this is just doing the public one. So I need to double check this because I think this should all public schemas. So we want to make this table. So this is a bug here. So this retest DB should take in a schema parameter and reset only that schema. And the idea is that then you can run your integration tests in different Postgres schemas. This will basically then, what's this sudo inherit? Sudo inherit can be set to pipe inherit. Yeah, so I think I need to change that. That looks like a bug. But essentially this would take in a schema. And then once you have a schema, then basically what happens is you're then gonna only wipe out that schema without having to reset the Docker containers. And by doing that, you don't have to wait 30 seconds for the Docker containers to reset. So let me put this as a bug, and I'll say, we'll just say, this should be schema aware. do we want to, how do we want to fix this? Yeah, so I think that is something we'll definitely go and look at. We'll move this. So yeah, use a custom RPC to truncate tables rather than doing a Docker reset, because it will take you so much time to reset those 10 containers in the Supabase local stack. So that is my other recommendation. Yeah, custom Postgres schema. You want a custom RPC for truncation of that specific schema. And you also want to create individual auth.users for each schema. So you have data isolation, you have testing isolation, so testing setup / teardown isolation, and we also have agnostic DB clients, and we also have custom Docker setup that gets created from .sh scripts. So once you've got all those things, then you can run lots of different Claude codes in Git work trees, and we've also got file system separation via Git work trees. Yeah, so there's a couple of interesting things you've got to get. File systems, you can just use Git work trees for that. Data isolation, leave that up to you. Testing, setup, and teardown, you need to make those schema specific. And obviously, if you're using MongoDB, you could just spin up like MongoDB multiple instances, right? So it depends on how you're gonna do it, right? Again, the DB clients need to be agnostic, they need to be dynamic, and you need to generate custom Docker overrides for each individual Git worktree. And then each one can go off. It can run component tests, integration tests, and ETE tests in parallel, and it will not affect the other Git worktrees. So that is my gift to you for the day, guys. It took me 2 days of wrangling to figure that one out. Anyway, I'm going to log off, I'm going to go get some lunch, I'm going to go review all this code, and then we've got media uploads done. So I'll get media uploads done for the day, and then get back to automating some content formats as well as this content strategy. So